Alright, now before I refuse to take your questions, I'd like to have an opening statement. Welcome to After Hours. I think you'll like it here. This week, like every week before it, in fact 10 weeks before it, this is the 11th weekly installment of After Hours, so huzzah for that. Jade Quarry suffers a great deal. More so, I think, in fact, than any other week before, because the following clips were done in under a 24-hour period, and I had to cut a lot just to make the time limit, because Movie Maker will object more and more as the number of clips increases, and so there's a soft ceiling of how many clips you can have in a single video. Now here you'll notice this is the same Necromancer that was in the previous battle, and I still had the skull I had stolen from him. So instead of stealing to anybody, I teleported with Shadow Step into the middle of both of them, used the fear. They both run off in opposite directions for almost a full duration. I think is 3¼ seconds. Almost killed the Necro in that time frame, just straight up. But the Guardian friend of his, who for some reason had no virtues charge at the beginning, he came back to help him and revived him. But in doing so, he lost a lot of health. Then I just kite them, and the short bow, there's 2 of them, plus short bow equals lots and lots of numbers. And then the Necro just stands there and lets me target him. Now it's just 2 down people with a short bow, so you can tell where this is going. You'll notice the wolf overhead. I have, once again, swapped out my runes. I swear eventually I'll find one I like, and I think I kind of like this one. It combines raw stats, like really good stats actually. 100 precision is the 6th rune benefit of Runes of the Pack, which is what I'm running now. It combines raw stats and a really nice passive of on hit with a 10-second cooldown. You have a chance, 5% I think chance, to gain Swiftness, Fury being the big important thing, and 1 stack of Might, which is negligible. So the Might is irrelevant. The Swiftness is good, especially because the 3rd tier, the 2nd tier stat, I believe, gives 20% increased Swiftness duration. Remember, Moa, number 5. Just do it. Although, looking back now, I see their health is non-existent, and I could have killed them even in Moa form. But, so, Runes of the Pack, my new favorite runes. They give Swiftness, Might, and Fury on hit, so you do have to be hit. But especially against Mesmers, any little attacks count, no matter how small they are. So all these little Mesmer clones that are like barely touching me, each one of those gives a chance of getting the thing, of proccing it. And it's only got a 10-second cooldown for like almost 5-second duration. So it's pretty nice. The runes are currently bugged. They're supposed to give, for the number 3 rune, 50 power. They instead give 50 healing power, which I guess I can see how somebody messed that up at ArenaNet, but they'll fix that eventually, and then it'll be even better. Until then, bonus regen. Woohoo! Yeah, you will not see me fighting any elementalists in this video, though. It's gotten ridiculous to the point of just absurdity. There was not a single staff elementalist to be seen this entire, not only this video and all the little clips that I cut, but also in the time since last week, since the last video. I have not seen a single non-double dagger elementalist, and I have not killed a single elementalist in that time frame. There are no words for it. It is just absolutely where is a word for which I have no words. They'll get nerfed, and this will all be a sad, sad little thing that we'll look back on and probably cry. But until then, don't fight double dagger elementalists. They're like guardians, except they move more, they can regenerate health more, and they can knock you all over the place more. Only thing they have is a little bit less armor. So, yeah, good luck with that. They also have fewer dedicated blocking skills, but that doesn't really make any difference when you're knocked down on the ground. A couple of Necros come out, but you'll find Necros are pretty easy to deal with as a thief, just because you can steal a skull, and if you're quick, you can burn them down during the duration of fear. Same goes for, what are these? Warriors, not soldiers. Warriors, I will get that right, eventually. The steal skill you get off them makes them their own worst enemies. You steal from a warrior, you get the axes. The axes are a massively damaging attack, which you will see quite shortly here. He's trying to run, immobilize the arrow. Now he wants none of this, so he's just gonna try and book it. He's backing away, and he's like, I'm getting whittled. Basilisk Venom, watch, he starts to lunge forward to use that dash, but he doesn't quite make it. You saw there, the axes just completely wrecked his health pool. I'll walk behind him all invisible to avoid the hammer. So, axes from warriors, absolutely powerful. Stealing a, you steal a tree from a ranger, but it's a ranger, so it really makes no difference. It can sort of be like your victory tree, so you plant it on his dead body to sort of like commemorate the occasion or something. It doesn't grow a ring in a year, though it doesn't last very long. In fact, I think the single worst stealing ability besides Rangers, which, if you spam Heartseeker under it, actually does do a lot of healing, it's from Engineers, which, in beta, I was like, yeah, this is the coolest ability ever. You throw this stuff on the ground and anybody standing in it takes conditions. Problem being, nobody stands in place that long. And it does have a pretty long wind-up time to throw it. Excuse me. Guardians, if you can steal from a Guardian, if you manage to break past the stupid blocks and the Aegis and invincibilities that a Guardian pull out, and you can hit them with the stolen mace, it will daze/stun them for 4 seconds. 4 seconds is more than enough to beat down a Guardian, unless it's complete and utter bunker build, in which case there's no point in fighting them. They don't deal damage anyways, just let them go be useless somewhere else. Now here, there's a couple of situations, like right here, I was standing there, I was trying to hit an attacking maneuver skill, but for some reason it wasn't hitting due to some location. You'll notice my health ticked down a lot by standing on that circle. That wasn't good, so I moved out of the way, barely got the heal off. If I'd stood in there for one more tick, I would definitely have gone down. But if I'd gone down, I think I still would have won, because he was already low on health, or we would have both killed that Moa, and both rallied, and I'm pretty sure I could have killed him again. At this Mesmer, I do follow him with Heartseeker, even though he blinks away, so I feel a little bit bad about that, but he ran out of his spawn point directly towards me as I was standing in plain sight in the middle of it. I wasn't on an edge or anything, so feelings of guilt minimal, if any. Now here, I did like this fight. This fight was good. This is your standard tanky Guardian. He's got his greatsword, and this one is greatsword mace shield. He's got lots of blocks, he's got a good chunk of health, a lot of armor, a good chunk of armor. His burns are probably his biggest damage output, except for when you stand right beside his greatsword. And 1, 2, 3, evaded, block, actual contact. That's what I see when I think of Guardians. Actually got hit by that. That mace has a long reach apparently. Get a lunge past, I'll hit him with the immobilizing arrow, except not, because it was blocked by something. Who knows what? I burned all his blocks, so I'm thinking, yeah, perfect timing, except then he has some kind of skill which blocks, so Basilisk Venom isn't getting wasted. There. When I stole from him and hit him with that mace, he was dazed for 4 seconds. A Guardian who cannot cast for 4 seconds is just a very low health armored target. Here, this hyena thing jumps on me, which is quite scary, and then Daze apparently follows me through teleport, and then back through teleport, right back into it. So all in all, this was not the most coordinated takedown by any means, and then dazed again. But victory is victory, so I'm happy with it. Kind of. And then occasionally you'll get your AFKs and your free badges, hopefully. Nothing. You're walking right up into range. It actually does a good bit of damage. I got my Wolf Howling, which means 20% increased chance to crit. And yeah, in this latest iteration of my build, I've swapped out some vitality, about 1,000 points of vitality, for about 150 additional toughness, and a lot more precision. So I have a 82% crit chance with food and fury, so with just food it's a 62% crit chance. But I did drop my critical damage down to what is written in the UI as 80, with food brought up to 90. What that means is you do your normal 100% damage, plus 50% is just considered what a normal crit will do. And then you add 80 to that, or 90 to that. So you have 100, you have the 50 they expect, so 150 is your base crit with no additional stats. Whoa! Sea of Shadows jumps in here, but they know we're working together, so they can pim it. They let me go, obviously. And so they're gonna keep on keeping on, you know, they're literal hit squad, ganking on the JQ, that's all good, I'll keep camping their point. Anyways, crit, we'll get 100 plus 50, plus I currently have 80 or 90 with food. So what that ends up being is every time I crit, it does 240, 230 or 240% of the normal uncritted damage. And I do that 82% of the time, which is nice. It's very nice, actually. So from now on, the ascended gear I'm looking for is a little bit more critical damage. I'd like to get 250, just have a nice round-ish number there. 82% critical chance is more than enough. It is, I think 80 is the ideal that I was going for. And so I'm good with that. I'm good with the power that I currently have. The damage it deals is very nice. So what I'm looking for is more armor, more vitality.
Refreshing.
I haven't really ran into a lot of conditions. Condition builds are a lot rarer than you'd expect. But damage, especially from glass cannon warriors, is very, very annoying. And also from glass cannon thieves is very annoying. Not in this video, but in the continuation of this. This video will be cut into a DDH After Hours 11 Part A and B. This will be Part A. And the Part B, you will see a thief that I have a little grudge with. And they're just complete glass cannon.
Eat my dust.
So, yeah. That's basically how things are going. The other thing about my build is that I swapped out 10 points from the toughness tree. Look at that JQ little SR. He just ran through my whirling axes. He's like, yeah, this is what we expect when we leave our spawn point. You know, it's not too surprising. And then he goes AFK while standing right there. I have no idea what that is. The only thing I changed in my trait line is that I swapped 10 points out of the toughness line into the steel line, which I believe is from Shadow Arts to Trickery, I believe is the name. So I lose, what is that? 100 toughness? No, 100 toughness. Yes, but I did gain more than that from my equipment conversion. So I gained I lost 100 toughness and 100 healing power, but I gained 10% boon duration, which is nice because now I use swiftness, fury, and might, although might is kind of irrelevant. And also, it recharges the rate on steel by 5 seconds, or it decreases the recharge time by 5 seconds, which is very nice, especially because steel also grants fury, might, and that stat warrior dealing virtually no damage to me, in comparison to the 4 times as much damage I would normally deal to them. Now, Movie Maker is getting upset at the number of clips in this, so I'm going to cut this short with just a couple of clips of people being spiked. Quick little montage. Part 2 should be uploaded by now. Go watch it, or else.